Hello everyone, I'm going to make a new tutorial about the Aztec fast industrial this time, and I have to admit that this is my favorite strategy and I have a lot of history with it. The first time I saw it was Nagayomi against Black Star OP in the first ESOP tournament, and then I watched Boneng being really successful with that, and I finally tried to copy it, and I had great results with it, so I'm kind of famous for that strategy, although I didn't invent it. And it's a really nice one. It's quite fun to do. So first we're going to build a fire pit and a house, and put all of our villagers on food, so that we can age with 15 villagers. Here is a fire pit, and we're going to put our warrior priest on the XP production on the fire pit. With Aztec you should get a lot of very good treasures usually, because it's a TWC civ and your warship is a bit stronger. But I'm going to try not to take big treasures such as this one, as it would make my build a bit too fast. And I want to show you that you can do it, of course, even if you don't get the best treasures. So I'm just going to take small treasures, like in the previous tutorial. Let's take that 40 wood, and then we'll take that native, since it doesn't really affect our build order. Our first shipment will be 3 villagers, and we're going to age with 15 villagers, that is to say with 15 villagers and 16 population, as we get a warrior priest, which is why we have 1 extra population. And we'll use the messenger politician to get the fast age up, so we can start training warrior priest as soon as possible. Let's take that treasure now. As Aztec, you get a time 2 bonus when you kill units with another unit but your explorer, so we're going to make sure that we kill the unit with our bear and not with our warship. So when the unit is about to die, I'm going to attack another unit, so that I can get 20 XP instead of just 10 XP. See, here I'm going to get 20 XP. While if I killed my this wolf with my explorer, like here, well, I killed it with a bear again, but I would get only 10 XP. So now we're going to age with the messenger, as I said, and we're going to put all our villagers but 5 on wood. We need to keep 5 villagers on food so that we can train villagers, of course. And we're going to get 100 wood to build a house. And then we're going to switch these villagers on the fire pit. So here it is, we're switching our villagers. And our first shipment in colonial is going to be 3 warrior priests. Once you age, you want to set the fire pit on the warrior priest production, and just rally the next villagers on the fire pit. As it is a fast industrial, the start is of course going to be a bit slow, because you don't have many things to do. Once you get your first warrior priest, set the fire pit on expedence until you get a second shipment for 700 wood, and then we'll go back to the warrior priest production. So we're about to get a second shipment. Let's switch the fire pit, and now we're going to send 700 wood because we're going to need houses and a warhut. We want to get 10 warrior priests because they're going to give us a lot of XP. 10 warrior priest on the expedence is almost as good as 8 training posts, which is of course insane. And furthermore, they're quite good at fighting. We can see that they have a lot of HP, and their attack is pretty decent. They're almost as good as a hussar, which is great, of course. And they get stronger when you age, so in Fortress and in Industrial they're even stronger. Also, they're quite good at making our explorers stronger, as we will see. Now we're going to gather the crates with 3 villagers, and just keep booming. We want to build first a warhut. 1 villager on each should be enough. Then we're going to build a market, because we're going to need that hunting dog upgrade. And when you have 10 warrior priests, you can switch your villagers back to food and gold, and switch the fire pit to expedience. Usually you need about 7 villagers on gold, and the others can go on food. Next shipment is going to be 5 villagers, and let's build a second house. And now you're going to want to wall your base, because it's a very defensive build and your opponent might attack you, so you really need to wall. Once you get your warhut, you want to train 1 pike to defend the cavalry. And our next shipment is going to be 600 coin, so that we can age. Here it is. Usually you should get at least 4 pikemen, sometimes 5. It doesn't really matter, like 4 is enough to stop the reds. And let's finish that wall. Now we're safe against any kind of early game aggression. And now we're going to try to age. Our next shipment will be 600 coin again if we're not under pressure. If we're under pressure, we're going to need like 10 maces. Of course, I didn't say it, but you only want to do that strategy on maps with a lot of food, because you're going to need a lot of food to age to industrial. Make sure you use the warrior dance if you're getting pressured, because these guys are really good at while defending pressure, of course. And we're going to age with the chief politician, who's going to make our warrior shift stronger. Now we're going to try to gather 200 food and 1,200 coin, so that we can age to industrial. And while here you don't have many things to do, usually you want to scout with your explorer to make sure you're not under pressure. If you are, you want to send military shipments, and as I said, go for the warrior dance to try to defend. Also, if you're under a lot of pressure, you can use these guys to fight, because they're really strong in melee mode. And well, that's about it for the moment. Once we reach the 3rd age, we want to send a smoking mirror. It makes our explorer faster, and it gives him some area damage, and it's going to be really scary against big Skirm-Gun armies. And we also want to send 1k wood, because we need to upgrade our maces, build houses, and of course train maces as well. If you macro properly, you should almost be able to age once you reach the fortress age. Unless you're getting pressured, of course, but then your opponent is going to be a bit slower as well. And we're going to age to industrial with the politician that gives us skull knights. This one, 5 skull knights, and we're going to send smoking mirror and 1k wood, as I said. Now we can switch most of our villagers to wood and coin. We just need the coin to upgrade our maces and do that fire pit upgrade. It gives more XP when the warship, when units kill opponents' units in the warship range. Let's make a few maces. From now we don't really need a lot of food, just some food to train villagers and maces, so I'd say that 5 or 6 villagers and food should be enough. More is just too much. And now we're going to try to upgrade our maces. Our opponent doesn't have units, so I can't really show you how strong my warship is. But it's really insane right now, like, see his attack with that special spell. Even against villager it's going to be strong, although there's a negative multiplier. No, it's not strong because of a negative multiplier, but usually it is. And now when we reach industrial, we're going to put about 10 villagers on the fire pit, so that we can start training skull knights. And we're going to switch it to the skull knight dance. We're going to send 24 maces, and our composition is going to be H4 maces mixed with maces shipment, H4, yeah, and skull knights. Let's build more houses and get finally that fire pit upgrade. These skull knights come really fast and they're rather cost effective, so that's nice. Also, you don't need map control since your units or your villagers are sort of gathering from the fire pit. And yeah, let's just send shipments and make skull knights, and we're going to get an insane army almost instantly. And if you can reach the 4th age, honestly there's almost no way your opponent is going to kill you, because you're just going to have so many units and your warship is so strong. So I'd say that if you can reach the age 4 safely, unless your opponent is playing India or Japan, in which case it's close, you've won the game. Finally, before stopping this tutorial, I'm going to make a small talk about the fire pit abilities. You don't really want this one when doing that build. This one is the expedance. Of course, it's really good because, as I said, 10 warrior priest on the expedance is almost as good as 8 TPs. So if you're not fighting and not H4, you almost always want to be on that dance. This one is useful as it allows you to revive your explorer when he's dead. So if you lose your explorer, you want to use that one so that he can come back to a fire pit and revive. This one is the warrior dance. I'm going to show you how fast it is. We're just instantly going to get Minutemen, and we're going to defend our base, of course. You get them almost instantly. This one is the war dance. When you're going to take a big fight, you should switch to that dance. I'm going to show you how strong it is. We're going to get 32% on damage. That's huge. It means that our units are about 20-25% stronger. That's just insane when the game is decided on a 20-second fight. We talked about this one. It allows you to train warrior priests. The warrior priest limit is 10. So once you reach that number, you usually don't want to use that unless you lose some, of course. This one is the healing dance. It doesn't seem very useful when you look at it. However, it can be useful because when your warship dies, it's going to get 0 HP and revive when he has about 200 HP. So if you want him to revive in the middle of the battlefield, you can use that dance. And I'd say that even more than that, you should use that dance every time he dies in the middle of fight. And we talked about that one too, as it allows you to train some skull knights. So I hope you enjoyed that strategy. I'm going to say last that you have to adapt to what your opponent does. You can't just do that strategy every time and ignore your opponent's plan. You have to send military shipments such as 13 maces, 6 eagles or 10 maces if he tries to pressure you and doesn't let you go to industrial. But eventually you should hold everything and go to industrial, and then you should win the game.